Sometimes life has a way of flipping everything upside down in the most shocking ways. This is the story of how Robyn Brown went from being the queen of her castle to losing absolutely everything, and how two women she thought she defeated came back to claim their victory. Picture this, a packed Las Vegas courtroom where you could hear a pin drop. When the clerk read the verdict out loud, it hit like an earthquake. Mary Brown and Janelle Brown had won their case, and Robyn's perfectly manicured hand suddenly went limp on her lawyer's arm. All the color drained from her face as she looked, desperately, at Kody, silently begging him to tell her this wasn't really happening. But Kody just sat there frozen, looking like someone had just told him his house was sinking into quicksand. The judge's decision was brutal. That beautiful $2 million mansion in the Flagstaff and all those sneaky property deals Kody had made with Robyn. The court said they were fake transfers designed to hide money from Mary and Janelle when they asked for their fair share. The judge ordered everything to be taken away and sold, with Mary and Janelle getting every penny. Robyn's breathing became shaky and uneven as reality crashed down on her. She'd lost her dream home, her safety net, and if the lawyers were right, her reputation was about to be destroyed too. 2 weeks later, something unbelievable happened. Flagstaff neighbors couldn't believe their eyes when they saw a moving truck parked outside Robyn's mansion. There she was, wearing a baggy hoodie and leggings, her hair messy, and tears streaming down her face as she directed the movers. Boxes labeled kitchen, kids' rooms, and heartbreakingly, legal papers, don't lose, were stacked carelessly around her. Neighbors whispered across the street. One said quietly, "She always acted like she was better than everyone else." Another added, "Well, look at her now." Kody wandered behind the truck, kicking gravel and muttering angry words to himself. His golden curls were flat with sweat, and his face looked pale and stressed. This man, who used to brag about being a lion, protecting his family, looked completely beaten down. For the first time in years. When the eviction officer finally approached, his voice was professional, but ice cold. "You have until 4 p.m. to vacate the property." Robyn's jaw tightened. "This isn't right," she shouted, her voice shaking with emotion. But the officer didn't budge. "The court order stands, ma'am." Meanwhile, 300 meters away, Mary was sitting in her newly renovated kitchen, sipping coffee and scrolling through news articles on her phone. The headlines were delicious. Brown family shakeup, Robyn loses mansion in court ruling, and sister-wife star faces eviction after legal defeat. When Janelle called, her voice practically glowed with happiness. "Have you seen it?" Mary leaned back in her chair with a mysterious smile, though. "I've seen it for years." Mary had felt pushed aside in her own marriage while Robyn hogged Kody's attention and their money. Now, for the first time in a decade, the tables had turned. "She thought she could bury us with her fake tears," Mary said. "Well, now she's the one actually crying." The eviction broke something deep inside Kody. Friends spotted him driving aimlessly around Flagstaff at weird hours, parking outside restaurants, but never going in. He told TLC producers he needed time to regroup and stopped filming completely, though crew members said he was just too embarrassed to face the cameras. When a tabloid reporter cornered him about the court case, Kody exploded. "You think Mary and Janelle won? They destroyed us. The whole family lost. It's a rigged system." But deep down, Kody knew he'd been outsmarted. Mary and Janelle had hired a forensic accountant who kept detailed records and uncovered Robyn's involvement in moving money around and playing financial games. The evidence was so clear that his defense crumbled completely. 2 months after the eviction, Robyn was spotted at a tiny rented house outside Flagstaff. Gone were the walk-in closets, the grand staircase, and the perfectly landscaped gardens. Now, she folded laundry in a cramped living room while her kids argued over homework. The man who once promised Robyn a secure life could barely scrape together next month's rent. Meanwhile, Mary and Janelle quietly finished moving assets into their own trusts. They weren't just surviving, they were thriving. Janelle expanded her business, Mary booked months in advance, and both women knew the money wasn't even the best part of their victory. The real win was watching Robyn Brown experience the exact public humiliation she thought would never touch her. 3 weeks after the eviction, Robyn sat hunched over her laptop in the dim kitchen of their rental apartment. Empty coffee mugs surrounded her like little ceramic soldiers. She'd been staring at her screen for hours, eyes red from crying. On the table sat a yellow legal pad covered with frantic scribbles. Defamation lawsuit, expose Mary's secrets, find dirt on Janelle, use TLC contract. Kody walked in wearing the same hoodie he'd had on for days, his hair still uncombed. "What's all this, Robyn?" he asked, his voice rough and tired. "It's how we fight back. We're not going to sit here and let Mary and Janelle dance on our graves. I'm going to make sure people know who they really are." But Kody just sat there groaning. This is exactly what they want, for us to get desperate and stupid. Ignoring Kody's warning, Robyn reached out to a small-time gossip blogger she'd met during TLC press tours. The blogger promised her an exclusive, sympathetic piece in exchange for juicy quotes. 2 days later, the headline appeared. Robyn speaks out, sister wife's betrayal by those she once called family. The article painted Robyn as the victim of decades of jealousy. She accused Mary and Janelle of plotting for years to destroy her marriage and reputation. She hinted at dark secrets about both women, but didn't give specifics, hoping the vague accusations would plant seeds of doubt in people's minds. For 48 hours, it seemed to work. Social media buzzed with heated debates. A few loyal supporters defended her. But then came Mary's counterattack. Until now, Mary had stayed silent after the eviction, but she went live on Instagram, her hair perfectly styled and wearing a blazer that screamed, "I came to win." "Robyn wants to talk about betrayal," Mary began, her voice calm as glass. "That's fine. Let's talk." For the next 30 minutes, Mary methodically tore apart Robyn's story, showing real receipts that proved Robyn was involved in the property transfers, plus text messages where Robyn begged Kody to move fast before they catch on. Mary concluded, "I didn't destroy Robyn's life. She destroyed her own when she decided greed mattered more than family." The live stream went viral instantly. Within hours, hashtags like "Buy Robyn" and "Mary Wins" were trending everywhere. When Robyn woke up the next morning, her phone was exploding, but not with supportive messages. Instead, she found angry direct messages and cruel memes. A viral TikTok called "Robyn Loses the House She Stole" showed her fake crying during a past Sister Wives episode. Sponsors who used to send her free products quietly stopped reaching out. On TLC's social media, Mary and Janelle's posts seemed to get more attention than hers ever did. Kody was furious. "I told you not to poke the bear," he yelled. "Now you made us look like liars and them look like saints." The ultimate humiliation came when Robyn showed up uninvited to a public charity event where Mary and Janelle were keynote speakers. She was determined to hold on to what dignity she had left. Cameras were everywhere. Microphones caught Mary walking up to them with a smile saying, "Oh, look, the eviction continues." The crowd chuckled. Robyn froze, the sound echoing in her ears like a slap. She rushed back to their rental before the speeches even began. Finally facing the truth she'd been avoiding. Her revenge plan hadn't hurt Mary and Janelle at all. It had permanently destroyed her own reputation. The email arrived on a Tuesday morning. The subject line simply read, "Contract review urgent." Robyn and Kody was summoned to a private meeting at TLC's Flagstaff production office. The conference room's air felt heavy. Dana, a slick network executive who was direct and completely immune to Kody's usual charm, slid a document across the table. "We've been reviewing the show's direction," she began. "Viewer sentiment has changed dramatically over the past year. To be frank, Robyn, you're now the most disliked cast member on Sister Wives." Robyn's face crumpled. "That's not fair," she cried, her voice already breaking. "Mary and Janelle are spreading lies." Dana cut her off. "Regardless of the reasons, the numbers don't lie. Ratings drop when you're featured heavily, and they rise when you're absent from episodes. Advertisers notice these things." The conclusion was harsh. TLC was considering Robyn's complete removal, either by fading her out mid-season or giving her a brief. The silence said everything. Meanwhile, Mary learned about TLC's plan through a producer friend. She didn't go publicly, but she did post a cryptic Instagram photo of herself on her inn's porch with the caption, "Some things just work themselves out." The comment section exploded with speculation. Fans tagged Mary in thousands of comments, and she couldn't ignore the rumors. 2 nights before Kody's contract decision was due, tension in their rental reached a breaking point. Robyn paced the living room, tears streaming down her cheeks. "So, you're telling me I was just a prop for your career if you take that deal?" she screamed. "And we'll be broke in 6 months if I don't take it," he fired back. The fight went in circles until midnight, when Kody stormed into the spare bedroom and slammed the door. For the first time since their wedding, Robyn realized she might lose him, not to another wife, but to the cameras that had once made her feel invincible. As the sun began to rise, Kody sat at their kitchen table with the contract in front of him. The rental's air seemed to hold its breath. Across from him, Robyn sat with swollen eyes and damp hair from her shower. "You don't have to do this," she said softly. "Yes, I do," Kody replied flatly. Picking up the pen, he signed. Robyn's muffled gasp was the only sound in the room besides the scratch of ink. "You just traded me for a paycheck," she whispered. Kody didn't look up. "I sold us both out to make sure we wouldn't be eating ramen for a year." TLC didn't waste any time. Within 48 hours, a press release appeared on every entertainment website. Kody Brown to reconnect with former wives as TLC renews Sister Wives for exciting new season. The deliberate use of former wives was a clear signal that Robyn wasn't one of them. Entertainment shows ran side-by-side footage of Robyn's recent tearful interviews next to Kody's. Awkward smiles with Mary and Janelle from previous seasons. It was a brutal contrast. Mary and Janelle took center stage for TLC's first promotional shoot at Mary's Inn. Cameras captured them laughing together, sharing coffee, and flipping through photo albums on the porch. When a reporter asked Mary how it felt to film with Kody again, she smiled. "It's nice working with people who value family," she said. The dig at Robyn was wrapped in silk, but sharp as a razor blade. "And it's good knowing the show's focusing on real history, not distractions," Janelle added. Everyone understood that Robyn was the distraction. Robyn tried to fight back with an Instagram video filmed from her car. "They're rewriting history," she cried. "They're trying to erase me from the family story. I'm Kody's wife. I was his wife." But instead of sympathy, the comment section filled with popcorn gifs, laughing emojis, and reminders of her court loss. Even her remaining fans seemed worn out by the drama. When the new season premiered, TLC made their editorial choice crystal clear. The first episode opened with upbeat music as Kody walked into Mary's Inn, hugging her and Janelle. The next shot showed Robyn alone in her rentals, staring silently out the window. The ratings went crazy. Social media flooded with hashtag Team Mary and hashtag Team Janelle posts. while jokes about poor in became commonplace. Somewhere in her small rental home, Robyn came to an unthinkable realization. For years, she thought she was the queen of the Brown family, but now she was just a side character in someone else's happy ending. The current season's premiere took place not in a cozy family room, but in a sleek downtown Flagstaff law office. Robyn sat across from Vanessa Cortez, a sharp, bold lawyer who was clearly skeptical of her client. Robyn placed the TLC press release on the table. "They can't just erase me. I've been on this show for years. I'm part of its history." Vanessa stapled her fingers. "Contractually, they can. But," she leaned forward, "maybe we have a case. If you can prove your removal was part of a coordinated campaign to damage your reputation." Robyn's eyes lit up. "Mary and Janelle, they've been scheming for years." Within a week, TLC executives received a thick envelope marked legal notice. Robyn was threatening to sue for emotional distress, wrongful termination, and defamation. She was also prepared to release extensive behind-the-scenes footage showing producer manipulation, staged scenes, and personal misconduct. The threat hit TLC headquarters like a bomb. Some executives wanted a quiet settlement. Others said she was bluffing. "Let her try," urged Dana, the same executive who had iced Robyn earlier. "If she wants to go nuclear, we'll respond with nuclear force." When Kody learned about the lawsuit, he lost it completely. "You're suing my show? TLC is the only reason we're not bankrupt," he yelled, pacing their rental's living room like a caged animal. Robyn's voice wavered. "Kody, they made me look terrible, and you let them." Kody slammed his fist on the counter. "You're going to destroy our last lifeline with lawsuits, accusations, and threats." It was the ugliest fight of their marriage. Neighbors later told reporters they heard shouting and glass breaking that night. Sensing blood in the water, Mary and Janelle went into full PR mode. In a joint People magazine interview, they emphasized truth-telling and transparency on the show. "We've had enough real drama without creating fake drama," Mary said, clearly referencing Robyn's lawsuit. "We've moved forward," Janelle added. "Some people seem unable to do that." The article portrayed them as strong survivors while making Robyn look bitter and ungrateful. TLC's lawyers called Robyn's bluff fast-tracking her deposition. Under oath, she was forced to admit that many of her damaging claims about Mary and Janelle were based more on suspicion than concrete evidence. Even worse, the network's lawyers presented unseen text messages from producers showing that Robyn had actually requested certain scenes be staged to make her look sympathetic. This completely undermined her claims of manipulation. The legal team left the deposition practically smiling. The deposition leaked overnight. Tabloids ran headlines like "Robyn Brown's TLC lawsuit falls apart, caught exaggerating under oath." Her remaining fan base vanished. Sponsors who had quietly supported her walked away. Even some of her extended family stopped taking her calls. Kody, angry and embarrassed, started staying away from their place for days at a time. When rumors spread that he was sleeping in a guest room at Mary's Inn, social media went overdrive. For the finale, TLC capitalized on the chaos. While Kody filmed in another location with Mary and Janelle, cameras captured Robyn sitting alone at her kitchen table with stacks of overdue bills. In front of her, "I thought I'd be the last wife standing," Robyn said through tears. "Now I'm not even part of the family story." The devastating final shot showed Robyn watching from her phone screen in the dark rental as Mary, Janelle, and Kody walked into a restaurant together. It was a far cry from the confident, untouchable woman she used to be. The season ended with the sound of her muffled sobs. The season opened with a stark image. Robyn alone in her rental's dim at 2 a.m. eating cold cereal straight from the box. Her hair was messy. Her sweater was stained. In the background, unopened mail, some stamped final notice, piled high. Her bank account was nearly empty after the lawsuit disaster. Even Kody's on-camera parents weren't much help anymore, since Mary and Janelle's joint ventures controlled most of the money, and TLC had cut off all future earnings due to contract violations. I used to think being quiet and sweet would protect me, Robyn admitted in a private confessional. Now I know nobody's coming to save me. Determined not to be remembered as the villain, Robyn launched a new social media campaign called Second Chances with Robyn. She filmed herself shopping at thrift stores, baking cookies with her kids, and talking about humility and fresh starts. Some fans initially offered tentative support, but her comment section still filled with accusations of crocodile tears and rebranding for sympathy. Then she made a fatal mistake. In one video complaining about grocery prices, she forgot to remove a gold Cartier bracelet. The video went viral for all the wrong reasons on a rainy afternoon. Robyn's phone rang with an unknown number. She almost ignored it until she heard the voice. "Robyn, it's Christine." This was the woman who had been her harshest critic, who had publicly called her manipulative on national TV. Surprisingly, Christine's tone was neutral. "I think we can help each other," Christine said. "Meet me in person, no cameras." They met at a small cafe on the edge of town. Christine split a manila envelope across the table. Inside were copies of old production schedules, unused footage, logs, and brief clips of Kody's conversations with TLC executives that had never been aired. "This stuff could destroy Kody's whole Golden Boy image," Robyn whispered one night as she flipped through the documents. "Exactly," Christine replied. One morning, Entertainment Tonight released an exclusive. Sister Wives leaked footage reveals Kody Brown's explosive off-camera behavior. Videos of Kody screaming at a producer, belittling one of his kids, and making fun of Mary's business went viral immediately. Fans were shocked worldwide. Hashtags like #BrownFamilyTruth and #KodyExposed started trending. TLC scrambled to control the damage. Even Mary and Janelle publicly distanced themselves from Kody. But the harm was already done. In the season finale, Kody confronted Robyn in their rental's living room. "You did this," he said, his voice shaking. Robyn didn't deny it. "Kody, you left me with nothing. I warned you, when you corner someone, they fight back." Christine, who had been waiting in the apartment as cameras rolled for the big reveal, stepped out of the hallway. The season ended with a close-up of Kody's face, equal parts realization and fury, as Robyn and Christine shared a knowing look. TLC executives met in Los Angeles, their eyes gleaming like gamblers with the royal flush. The season 3 leaks had sent ratings through the roof. The network wanted blood, and they wanted it captured on camera. The plan was simple but deadly. A multi-day filmed reunion called the Brown Family Truth Summit, where a host would push Kody, Robyn, Mary, Janelle, and Christine to reveal everything. "We don't just give fans closure," Dana told her team. "We give them a spectacle they'll never forget." The invitation was carefully worded. Mandatory filming. Not showing up would mean contract violation and loss of all payments. Mary and Janelle didn't hesitate. Sensing another victory lap, Christine accepted after about 10 seconds, knowing she could deliver the killing blow to Kody on camera. Robyn's hands shook as she read her letter 3 times. "It's a trap," she whispered. Kody just grunted. "We're screwed if we don't show up. At least this way, we get paid." The Truth Summit was held at a luxurious Sedona resort. The main room was set up like a cross between a boxing ring and a therapy circle. Comfortable chairs and soft lighting, but cameras everywhere, including overhead rigs to catch every micro-dash expression. Host Leah Foster, a ruthless investigative journalist, opened by saying, "We're here to either clear the air or burn the bridges. Either way, the truth comes out." Day 1 was controlled but tense. Cold smiles and polite jabs, but everyone knew it was about to explode on day 2. Christine casually dropped a bomb. "Kody, Should we talk about the time you told producers Mary's business was a waste of camera time? Kody flushed. That's out of context. Christine cut him off. No, it's perfectly in context. I have the audio. She pulled out her phone, hit play, and Kody's voice filled the room, disparaging Mary's business and calling it a dead end. Mary sat back with a cold smile, not to be outdone. Mary pulled out her own folder, color-coded and neatly tabbed. Since we're sharing, here's proof of all the money transfers Kody made to Robyn while telling everyone else there was nothing left. She read each number aloud like punches to the gut. Robyn squirmed and looked at Kody, who seemed to want to disappear into his chair. Host Leah leaned in closer. Robyn, did you know the rest of the family wasn't aware of these transfers? Robyn's voice cracked. I didn't think I had the right to question it. Christine's sharp laugh was picked up by the microphones. By the final day, all civility was gone. Janelle attacked Kody for weaponizing loyalty and turning wives against each other. He's a man who can't lead without destroying what he's leading. Cornered and desperate, Robyn tried to deflect by attacking Mary. You were cold to me from day one. Mary interrupted. I was cold because you came in with a knife and a smile. The shouting got so out of control that Leah had to physically stand up and separate them. Producers wouldn't dare cut. This was TV gold. The season's final scene was chaos. Kody ripped off his microphone and stormed out, slamming the lodge door so hard the camera shook. Mary, Janelle, and Christine stood together, almost laughing as Robyn ran after him, crying. The final shot showed the three women walking out into the Sedona sunset, with Robyn's sobs echoing behind them. After the credits, TLC teased what was coming next season. The crunch of tires on the frozen driveway broke the quiet winter morning at Robyn's rental. Expecting a delivery truck, she peeked through the blinds to see a county sheriff's SUV pulling up with two uniformed officers. Stepping out, they weren't there to chat. They carried a court order, its official seal gleaming in the cold light. Mrs. Robyn Brown, this property is being repossessed effective immediately. You need to vacate today. Her mouth fell open in shock. No, that's not possible. I appealed. The officer shook his head. The judge denied it yesterday. We're here to enforce the ruling. Robyn's hand started trembling when she realized the cameras were already rolling. TLC had been following her for days. Producers whispered urgently into earpieces, sensing ratings gold. Across town, Mary and Janelle were in a cozy wood-paneled office signing documents. While Robyn was scrambling, the lawyer split the final papers across the polished table. It's official, he smiled. The court awarded you both jointed ownership of the Coyote Pass parcels, plus full legal control of the family's media royalties that Kody transferred to Robyn's LLC. Mary leaned back, her voice sharp and satisfied. It feels good to finally have the truth recognized after years of being sidelined. Janelle laughed, the first time in months. Robyn's been running the family like her personal business. That ends today. Outside the courthouse, reporters crowded around. Mary looked directly into the cameras without hesitation. And we're done being quiet. By the time Robyn loaded her last suitcase into a rented pickup truck, reporters had arrived. Neighbors craned their necks as local news trucks lined the street. Kody showed up halfway through the chaos, wearing his weathered leather jacket, eyes darting and hair wild in the wind. This is harassment, he yelled at the journalist. You're vultures. But when a reporter asked Kody, is it true you and Robyn were found guilty of financial mismanagement by the court? He froze. Robyn's face went blank. They're twisting everything, she said, wiping her eyes and sobbing. All we wanted was to protect our family. They've taken everything from me. While Robyn and Kody drove away, Mary and Janelle were negotiating a joint memoir deal. The publishing house wanted a detailed account of the Brown family's collapse, including financial documents, private letters, and behind-the-scenes stories. Are you prepared for Robyn and Kody to sue? The editor asked at their first meeting. Janelle grinned. Let them try. Truth is the best defense. The women began compiling years of receipts, bank transfers, handwritten notes, and suspicious PayPal donations to Robyn's business accounts. The deeper they dug, the more damning the evidence became. Robyn sat cross-legged on the floor of a cramped two-bedroom apartment on the outskirts of town, unpacking mismatched dishes. Heavy, uneasy silence filled the air. Kody paced near the window. They're watching us. They're waiting for us to make one mistake so they can finish destroying us. Robyn's voice wavered. They already have Kody. He spun around to face her. Don't you dare blame me for this. They fought that night until the walls shook, the sound carrying into the cold night. Robyn's neighbors told producers they could still hear her crying long after the shouting stopped. TLC organized a special live reunion show, the first time Mary, Janelle, Kody, and Robyn had all been in the same studio since the ruling. The tension was obvious the moment the lights came on. Mary turned to Robyn. You used Kody to push us out and take control. You stole from your own family. Now the court agrees. Robyn's face went white. I love this family. I was trying to protect it. Janelle interrupted. Protect it? You bled it dry. The online chat exploded, with hashtags like Robyn exposed and Team Mary Janelle trended for hours. By the time the credits rolled, it was clear that Robyn and Kody's reputation was completely destroyed. And this is how a woman who thought she'd won everything discovered that sometimes the people you think you've beaten are just waiting for their moment to rise up and reclaim what was always theirs. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe for more incredible stories like this.